The gardener's smile, psychological horror. Everyone says our town is perfect, peaceful, safe, and it is, mostly. But things haven't felt right lately. Small things, things I can't quite put my finger on. My name is Edward. I moved to Willow Creek a year ago seeking a quiet life. It was exactly what I needed after everything. The town is beautiful, especially the gardens. Old Man Hemlock, the town gardener, is a local legend. He keeps everything pristine. He always has a smile on his face, a very wide smile. It used to be comforting. Now it just feels off. Lately, I've been noticing things changing, things being moved, rearranged, objects appearing where I'm sure they weren't before. It started small, like a misplaced book or a shifted flower pot. But it's escalating. People tell me I'm imagining things, that I'm still stressed from my move, that I need to relax, but I know what I'm seeing. And it's not just objects, it's details. Colors seem brighter, shadows deeper, like the world is adjusting itself. I started keeping a journal, documenting everything, hoping to prove to myself that I'm not losing my mind. But even the journal feels unreliable. I need to figure out what's happening before I completely lose my grip on reality. Is Old Man Hemlock connected to this somehow, or am I truly going insane? I spend a lot of time in the town square trying to clear my head. It's where Old Man Hemlock works his magic. He's always there, tending to the flowers, pruning the bushes, smiling that unsettling smile. I started paying closer attention to his work, and I noticed something strange. The plants weren't growing naturally, they were being shaped, twisted into unnatural forms. Roses with too many petals, bushes with thorns that curved inward. It wasn't just the plants. The paths were subtly changing, leading in different directions. The benches were being moved closer together, creating a sense of enclosure. I tried to point it out to others, but they dismissed it. It's just Old Man Hemlock being creative, they said. He has a unique vision. But it didn't feel like creativity. It felt like control. I started experiencing gaps in my memory. Small things at first. Forgetting where I put my keys. Losing track of conversations. But the gaps were getting larger, more frequent. I tried to piece things together, but it was like my memories were being erased, replaced with vague impressions and distorted fragments. I found an old photo album in my attic, pictures of my life before Willow Creek. But some of the faces were blurred. Names were missing. It was like someone had intentionally altered my past. I started to suspect that the town wasn't just changing my present, it was rewriting my history. I started noticing that people in Willow Creek were mirroring my expressions, smiling when I smiled, frowning when I frowned. It was subtle at first, but it became increasingly unsettling. It was like they weren't reacting to my emotions, they were reflecting them, like puppets controlled by an unseen puppeteer. I tried to make eye contact to break the mirroring effect, but their eyes were empty, vacant. It was like they weren't really there. I started to feel like I was trapped in a hall of mirrors, surrounded by distorted reflections of myself. Old Man Hemlock approached me in the town square. He handed me a single, perfectly formed rose. "A gift," he said, his smile widening, "to brighten your day." The rose was beautiful, but it felt wrong. The petals were too smooth, the color too vibrant. It didn't feel like a natural flower. I tried to refuse the gift, but he insisted. "You need beauty in your life," he said, his voice strangely hypnotic. As I held the rose, I felt a strange sensation, a warmth spreading through my body, a calmness washing over my mind. I realized that the rose wasn't a gift, it was a sedative, a way to suppress my memories, to numb my senses, to make me accept the reality of Willow Creek. I looked around the town square. The gardens were no longer beautiful, they were a prison. The flowers were not symbols of life. They were instruments of control. The townspeople were not friendly. They were drones, controlled by Old Man Hemlock and his insidious garden. I realized that Willow Creek wasn't a peaceful town. It was a carefully constructed illusion, a trap designed to ensnare those seeking solace. I tried to escape, but it was too late. The garden had bloomed, and I was now a part of it. Sometimes the most beautiful things can hide the darkest secrets. Be wary of places that seem too perfect, and always trust your instincts. What would you do if you discovered the truth about Willow Creek? Share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, not everything is as it seems.